Just as David relied on God's guidance and his intervention, we too must anchor our actions and aspirations in God and the identity that he gives us. By nurturing our faith and cultivating a deep sense of trust, we can tap into an inner strength that enables us to confront and conquer the giants of our lives. Renowned psychiatrist and author Dr. Kurt Thompson, who we reference often on this channel, sheds light on the profound impact of storytelling on our mental health and our well-being. According to Thompson, the narratives that we construct about ourselves directly influence our brain's neurobiology, shaping how we perceive and respond to the world. By harnessing the power of intentional narrative construction, or said another way, by telling ourselves right and true stories about our true identity, we can rewire our brains for resilience, healing, and growth. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about David and Goliath. It's one of the most famous stories of all time, but it's also one of those stories that I think is a bit misunderstood. There are a lot of lessons that we can take away from that story that can help us deal with the Goliaths of our day. In a world filled with challenges and obstacles, we often find ourselves facing our own personal Goliaths, right? These giants can take on many forms: fear, insecurity, doubt, or even external circumstances that are at times terrifying. But just like the biblical tale of David and Goliath, there is a way to help us conquer these giants and emerge victorious. And if you've watched any of the previous videos we've shared on this channel, you know what I'm about to say next. That secret weapon that I'm referring to is storytelling. Life is filled with trials and tribulations that can often make us feel small, insignificant, or ill-equipped to face the obstacles before us. But throughout history, there have been individuals who defied the odds, overcame their Goliaths, and emerged victorious. These stories serve as beacons of hope and inspiration, reminding us that we too possess the strength and resilience to conquer our own personal giants. In this video, we'll explore the profound impact of storytelling on our ability to face the Goliaths of our day. We'll delve into the importance of the narratives we tell ourselves and the connection between mental health and personal narratives, and practical strategies for harnessing the power of storytelling in our lives. By understanding the transformative potential of stories we tell ourselves and others, we can equip ourselves to tackle challenges head-on, walk in confidence, and emerge triumphant. The stories we tell ourselves and the stories we tell others, they have a power to shape our perception of reality. They influence how we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. Like David, we've got to cultivate a mindset of victory even when facing overwhelming odds. By reframing our experiences through the lens of our true identity, we can transform seemingly insurmountable challenges into stepping stones toward growth and success. When the David and Goliath story is told, it's often framed from the perspective that David was an underdog, that he was going up against a foe he could never or should never have been able to defeat. A simple shepherd boy facing an elite warrior, right? He never had a chance. Who could argue with that assessment of the situation? But like so many other stories that we see in Scripture, that narrative has been a bit twisted over the years, or at least misunderstood. You see, David brought a gun to a knife fight. Have you ever seen someone skilled with a sling use the weapon? The slow, underpowered Goliath was no match. And we see this in the narrative. The fight was over before it even started. And if that wasn't enough, the story tells us that David wasn't just a poor, weak little shepherd boy. He was a skilled fighter in his own right, having killed lions and bears with his own bare hands. In 1 Samuel 17, 34-36, we see him talking with Saul as he says, "Your servant has been tending his father's sheep. Whenever a lion or a bear came and carried off a lamb from the flock, I went after it, struck it down, and rescued the lion from its mouth. If it reared up against me, I would grab it by its fur, strike it down, and kill it. Your servant has killed lions and bears. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, for he has defied the armies of the living God." David's unwavering confidence in his abilities stemmed from his deep-rooted understanding of his true identity. He had confidence in who he was in God, and he had confidence God had his back. Don't get me wrong, this David and Goliath story is a story of David's victory over Goliath because of God's power. This story is not about how great David was, but David was by no means a slouch. He was a partner with God in this story. He was prepared, and he walked in his identity with confidence. Similarly, when we embrace our true identity and walk in confidence in that identity, recognizing our strengths, our talents, and our unique calling, we unlock a wellspring of confidence that enables us to face any Goliath that comes our way. This self-assurance allows us to step out of our comfort zones and take bold action in pursuit of our goals. If you're struggling, hear me when I say this isn't something that usually happens overnight, but it can happen. While David's skill with a sling played a pivotal role in his victory over Goliath, it was his unwavering faith and trust in God that ultimately secured his triumph. 1 Samuel 17:37 says, "Then David said, 'The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of the Philistine.'" David had confidence in his skills and abilities, but he knew that all of it came from God. Just as David relied on God's guidance and his intervention, we too must anchor our actions and aspirations in God and the identity that he gives us. By nurturing our faith and cultivating a deep sense of trust, we can tap into an inner strength that enables us to confront and conquer the giants of our lives. Renowned psychiatrist and author Dr. Kurt Thompson, who we reference often on this channel, sheds light on the profound impact of storytelling on our mental health and our well-being. According to Thompson, the narratives that we construct about ourselves directly influence our brain's neurobiology, shaping how we perceive and respond to the world. By harnessing the power of intentional narrative construction, or said another way, by telling ourselves right and true stories about our true identity, we can rewire our brains for resilience, healing, and growth. We can face the Goliaths of our day with confidence. Negative self-talk acts as a barrier to personal growth and achievement. These internal dialogues often perpetuate limiting beliefs and reinforce feelings of inadequacy or insecurity. To overcome this detrimental cycle, we must rewrite our negative scripts. Through intentional affirmations, positive self-talk, and reframing negative experiences as opportunities for growth, we can dismantle the stronghold of negativity and create empowering stories that propel us forward. In contrast to David's unwavering confidence, Saul's story is marked by insecurity and a lack of faith. Saul's focus on external validation and comparison to others hindered him from stepping into his true potential and walking in his true identity. Similarly, when pride or insecurity guides our narratives, we become trapped in a web of self-doubt and fear. Recognizing these patterns allows us to intentionally reshape our stories, replacing pride with humility and insecurity with self-assurance. Just as David honed his slingshot skills through practice and experience, we can build confidence by developing our own unique abilities. By dedicating ourselves to telling right and true stories rooted in the identity statements we find all throughout Scripture, we can equip ourselves with the tools needed to confront and conquer the giants in our lives. But remember, just like David's story, it requires a trust in God. And let me be clear, this happens most effectively in small faith communities. Sharing our stories and telling true and right stories about ourselves with others is the most effective way this can happen. Yes, the stories I tell myself in the quiet, secluded privacy of my own mind matter. They matter a great deal. It's a both-and situation, not an either-or. Our true identity is rooted in being children of a loving God, fearfully and wonderfully made. When we recognize and embrace this truth, it unlocks a wellspring of purpose and power within us, aligning ourselves with God's plan for our lives. by walking in obedience to his invitation to partnership in the great meta-narrative. By doing that, we're empowered to walk in confidence, knowing that we are equipped for every battle that we face. In times of adversity, remembering our divine calling helps us rise above circumstances and seize opportunities for growth and impact. David's unshakable trust in God's power and provision enabled him to stand fearlessly before Goliath, not as a weak, powerless, unprepared shepherd boy, but as a confident, skilled, and well-trained warrior. Likewise, cultivating unwavering faith and trust in God allows us to surrender our fears and worries, knowing that He is working all things together for our good. This trust instills with us courage and resilience, enabling us to face even the most formidable Goliaths with unwavering resolve. When we share our own stories of triumph and resilience, when we're honest, transparent, and vulnerable with our own stories of struggle and challenge or strife, we inspire and uplift others who may be facing their own Goliaths. By opening up about our experiences, we create connections rooted in empathy, understanding, and shared humanity. Through storytelling, we become agents of change, catalysts for hope, and bearers of the light to those around us. In life's battlefield, where giants loom large and challenges abound, storytelling serves as a powerful weapon. By crafting empowering narratives that align with our true identities and purpose, we transform formidable giants into stepping stones towards personal growth and victory. The stories that we tell ourselves and the stories that we tell others matter. They shape our confidence, faith, and our trust. So let's embrace the power of storytelling, harness its transformative potential, and face our Goliaths with unwavering resolve. As you journey towards conquering your own Goliaths, reflect upon the giants that stand in front of you. Maybe it's self-doubt or negative self-talk. Maybe it's gotten so bad that you are decidedly committed to telling yourself that you have no value or worth. How can you rewrite your story, embrace your true identity, and trust in God's power? Remember, there is someone who possesses the strength and resilience needed to transform giants into these stepping stones, and ultimately victory and freedom. David trusted in him. David walked in his true identity. He walked in the truth of who God had made him to be, and he ended the fight with Goliath before it even started. Imagine what God can do to help you conquer your own Goliaths. In embracing the power of storytelling, you take a crucial step towards facing your Goliaths with unwavering courage, faith, and confidence. Let your story be one of triumph, resilience, and transformation. The invitation is on offer. Accept the call and the invitation of Jesus. Thanks for listening.